Welcome everybody to round 6. We are here in Monaco for the Monaco Grand Prix. Of course, Podium tier, 7 PM. I've got Odems back alongside me for today's commentary. And just to apologise ahead of time, I am feeling a little bit rough. So if I sound a bit blocked up, that is why. But I'll be here throughout qualifying and the race. And Odems, Monaco, how do you describe it?
You describe it as treacherous, describe it as dangerous. Some may describe it as fun. I would not associate myself with such people. It's a crazy track. I don't think it needs an introduction. You all know what it's about.
Yeah, definitely. We're expecting to have a busy night here tonight, and I'm sure by the end of it, we're not exactly gonna know what's happened or be able to summarise exactly what's happened. But we've got Razor, the first man out on track in the McLaren, and just keeping it out the wall in qualifying on him is hard enough.
Yeah, especially since you're trying to go fast, which is what this track despises pretty much. Yeah, usually when you race it, you just want to keep it out of the barriers, but when you're trying to keep it out of the barriers and go fast, it usually doesn't work out well.
Yeah, definitely. We're seeing all the drivers heading out, except for Lukey, Matt Your Daddy, the Boogster, Gaza, and it says Odems is racing, but he is commentating with me. He forgot to select spectate, but he won't be racing. Of course, he'll just be spectating the session. But we've got a couple of new drivers here for this week's race, Odems. We've got Greenfin in the Haas, so it'll be the first time that we've got 2 Haas drivers on the grid today, which is fantastic for them. And we've got Josh, who is taking over in the Red Bull. So good luck to both of them tonight, and we hope they enjoy this Monaco outing. We've got a couple drivers on the super soft tyres.
Yeah, just one word. I've noticed in practice races a lot of the time Greenfin was very good at letting people pass, especially in Monaco. So that's a shout out to him. That's something I'm very appreciative of. But yeah, some drivers on super soft. Obviously, I think this is a pretty basic one-stop race. So I would not recommend starting on the super soft because the undercut is worth a lot here and you can't really overtake. So it'd be best to get your pit stop done early and go to the end.
Empatic lost a bit of front wing there, and he had to back out of his outlap and come into the pits for repairs. So I'm expecting any minute to see someone has retired from the session, because when you're pushing flat out around these streets of Monaco, it's so easy to touch one of those barriers and make a mistake. Of course, damage is on full, so the tiniest of tap can really hurt you. But we haven't had any of that so far, and all the drivers are looking to keep it clean in this session. Of course, probably the most important qualifying session of the season, Odems.
It is. Qualifying pretty much dictates how your race is going to go. If you qualify first and keep it out of the barriers, you've pretty much won the race. Razor is at 1:14.3, very close to 1 lap. Jamie beats that by 1.
Yeah, Kev as well. So Jamie and Kev very close. Techno Thriller on the Super Softs has done a lap. He was saying this week how he'd like to, as Josh makes a mistake. I'm not sure if that got him any damage. He had to cut across the chicane there, but it looks like he's back up and running. Perhaps he was just letting someone through. We mentioned qualifying being the most important. It's also the most difficult to let drivers through here when someone's on a fast lap. Obviously the streets are very narrow, the lap's very short, and a driver just seems to approach you so quickly when you're not on a quick lap.
Yeah, I've had this done to me a few times where I want to let someone go, but they get up behind you so much quicker. You just don't anticipate what you should have, and you just inadvertently mess up their lap. And you don't even have to like block them or touch them. Just the side of your car can mess up someone's lap. This is the nature of this track. As Kian went first, by the way, with a 1:12.3, smashing that.
Good spot there. We've got yellow flags in sector 3. I'm not sure what that's for. I'm riding on board with Ols in the Haas. Of course, as we mentioned earlier, both Haas drivers appearing for the first time this season, so it'll be interesting to see what they can do. He does look a little bit nervous, but I imagine everyone is. They just need to get a banker lap in, as yeah, Kian confirmation of 0. So yellow flags in sector 1 now. So perhaps we're seeing some drivers either slow down and it's bringing out the flags, or having a few contacts with the wall. But what's Ols going to be able to do here? Hasn't set a time. He's coming through the last corner, very tentative through that final sector. So this doesn't look like the quickest of laps. No, it's over 4 seconds off the pace, so he'll be going again. And Josh comes back out of the pits. We've got yellow flags now in sector 2. This hairpin, Odems, it isn't easy, as we're seeing the Haas driver Green Finn get in the way of Empatix. This is quite substantial. This is going to cost. You mentioned Green Finn was getting out of the way for everybody in practice, but he held up Empatix there massively. Perhaps Empatix wasn't on a quick lap. He is on lean fuel, but if he was on a quick lap, he wouldn't like that.
No, he wouldn't. Bookster, which is Force India, Empatix teammate, goes 7. He lets out Technoster out of the way very well, nicely as well. So I think this is following the pattern of the last few races, where he just sets a banker that's so much quicker than everyone else, and everyone else is left chasing it. Techno Triller hasn't set a competitive time yet. I'm still have Luki and Mike Daddy out to go. So
got both Red Bulls on track. Yeah, interesting by the looks of it. Second all the way down to 6 Odems, 2/10 of a second. So pole position, of course, is very important, but second position isn't the worst place to start, because obviously you can just follow the guy in front, and you can do the opposite to what he does on strategy. Obviously, most of these drivers will know what lap they want to pit, being a one-stop race, but the undercut, as you said, the gamble is, if you undercut someone, you can come out in traffic, and it is going to affect your race. So it's be interesting to see, you know, what these guys do. As Empatix on the super soft tire, he's running max fuel, so he's going to be pushing it. We're going to run through on board with him through the swimming pool section, not getting too close to the barriers, but as I say that, a bit of a lack of front end grip there as he hops the curb quite aggressively. We've got strict rules tonight, so we won't see any drivers cutting any corners as he gets a taxi slapper. Hasn't looked a tidy end to this lap, but nevertheless he's going to get one on the board on these super soft tires, of course. Where is it going to put him? It doesn't, which must mean he got a corner cut penalty.
Yeah, that's very easy to do, especially in the race when you're trying to avoid the barriers. You end up doing the other thing and corner cutting. Oof, Josh has had a very lap. He had a decent first sector, but now he's lost an end plate on both sides of his front wing. And he's back into the pit. Yeah, not a very good opening for Josh. I think it's not a good race to come into, is it?
No, it's definitely tough, you know, especially one of the factors is, you know, you don't know the drivers on the grid, so you don't know how hard you can race them or how hard they race. And of course, when overtaking isn't easy to begin with, he's going to be pretty much just needing to bide his time. So hello to everyone watching. This is F1 TS Hub. My name is Nick, and of course I'm here with Odems. We have been commentating the majority of your podium tier this season, and it's been a fantastic season so far, as we have just over 3 minutes left of this Monaco round 6 qualifying session.
Yeah, on board with Jonas. Very slow first sector, as we said, 19.7. We're on that hairpin. I've noticed if you're on a pad, you have to pretty much ride the curb just to take that hairpin quickly, because your car will not go full lock. So we'll usually have a massive advantage going through there, as Jonas is getting caught up in a bit of traffic. That's Gazaman.
Yeah, that is indeed Gazaman. So Gaza, I believe, on an outlap, he is indeed, as the timing screens confirm that. So everybody now is on the ultra soft tire except for Empatix, who hasn't set a competitive time, so he's still on the supers, yet to come out of the pits. We're seeing a few yellow flags, so perhaps people just getting a little bit close to these barriers. Just riding on board with Jonas. He's going to come across the line. His teammate's just behind him. Jonas, to be fair, is top 5 at the moment. He's only a couple tenths from the front row of the grid, so it's looking like a solid session for him so far. We've got yellow flags again in sector 2, so this will be really interesting. We've got Haas stopped on, it looks to be Ols. Haas stopped on the exit of the hairpin. There doesn't look to his car, so he's on an outlap, so I'm not exactly sure what was going on there, but we have under 2 minutes left this session, one of the shortest laps on the calendar, of course, Odem. So you can leave it quite late before you need to head out your box, as he cuts the chicane there. Thinks better of that one. Everyone is coming out so far except Gaza. So he was on a lap, so he's come in. He's obviously going to get a fresh set of boots and try and come back out. Matt, your daddy's come into the pits. Of course, ignore the TS Odems, who is showing in 16th. He is actually commentating with us tonight. But Jamie on second place at the moment. He is on a quick lap. He does a 19.3 first sector. My apologies, I don't know how good that is because I haven't done. That's good. So confirmation from Odems that he's on a hot one.
Techno gets a 19 too. He's also very good. I think for this here, 19s, low 19s are going to be very good. If you get into a high 18 in the first sector, you're doing something very right.
Epitic's retired from the session, so let's find out what's happened to his car. Where has he binned it? He's binned it in the final sector. It doesn't look like there's actually yellow flags in sector 1, 2 and 3. So yeah, he is out of this race. We're back on board with Kian, who appears to be having a little bit of lag. Not sure what happened to Epitic, but he'll be starting from 15th place and last on the grid. We've got Ols and Matt Your Daddy still in the pits, so they won't now have time to come out and set a lap. So Ols will be currently in 12th. Matt Your Daddy will be starting just in front of Epitic. Odems, 15 seconds left. Can anyone challenge Kian? Techno Thriller, half a second. This is going to be a mad final lap for most of these drivers. I'm excited to see who's going to do what here.
Tev's at a 19.4 in the first sector. Not bad.
A 19 flat for Techno Thriller, 2 temps up on his personal best. So if he continues that form, what can he do? I'm gonna follow him, Odems, because I want to see what this Sauber driver can do. Kian goes even quicker, 11.9, so he's now finished the session as Craig retires to the session. Techno Thriller, what can he do? He's coming down into the bumpy braking zone before the left-right-hander of the chicane. He gets very close to the walls, but he's still pushing. Max fuel, of course, these drivers are going to be wanting to be running, and he just taps away 7/10 quicker, Odem. So if he completes this lap, he's going to get pole position. He's going to absolutely steal it at the last moment from Kian. Come on, Techno, what can you get that Sauber to do? Riding on board, he's coming across the line. Is it going to be enough? He does. He takes pole position by half a tenth. The only man that can stop him now is Green Finn, who's the only driver left on a lap. But what an awesome job. Techno Thriller spoke in his interview earlier in the week that he hasn't got a clean lap in qualifying the last 2 races. And Kian's been the man on form in qualifying, taking the last 2 pole positions. But Techno Thriller, that was an awesome lap with a lot of pressure, and all credit to the Sauber driver for that.
Yeah, a lot of, the main thing is the pressure. That was in the dying seconds of qualifying, and he just smashed that one out. Kian, who already said his lap, he had no answer. That was very well done. That's what he's done in the 2 races before when he got pole position. So yeah, he's definitely back on form. Kev, I expected him to do a lot better in qualifying. He's only 6 behind Green Finn. I don't think he got his best lap in there at all. Look at the gap to his teammate, 1.2. In time trial, the gap is like under a 10th. So, yeah, I don't think he's where he should be in terms of pace.
Yeah, definitely a lot of pressure for these drivers. Of course, they know how important this qualifying session is, and they know how important it is to keep it out the walls. But Techno Thriller did just that, and it's going to be a fascinating battle between himself and Kian. Separated by under half a tenth of a second. Jamie did improve. He is 1 second off the pace, but he was slightly adrift of that, so he did improve his time, as did Craig, who's in 4th position. Green Finn, a solid debut from him in 5th. Kev is in 6th position, but yeah, Razor and the McLarens, they can't seem to separate each other at the moment. They seem to always be next to each other on track.
They do. I really like that. Like almost every race, either it's qualifying or the race, they're just so close to each other. That's a very good inter-team battle, and they're both very respectful drivers as well. So that'll be interesting to see continue throughout the season. Definitely. So we went down the grid. Techno Thriller, as we saw, steals pole position. Kian takes second. in his Williams. Jamie does a great lap to finish third. Craig, he said he got held up by Keane, so he takes fourth ahead of Greenfin. Great debut for him. Kev sixth, as we said, the Razor and Jonas, the two McLarens, in eighth and ninth. The Bookster's ninth ahead of debutant Josh, and Lukey, I don't think he's going to like his qualifying. He lines up 11th. Gazaman, Oz, and are in 12th and 13th. Matt Your Daddy and Emphatix were unable to set a lap. They'll be starting from back.
Course championship leader Lemaine is on holiday this week, so he's unable to attend. I apologise if you hear me go quiet or if you hear me sneezing. As I said, I do have a bit of a flu, but I am here and I'm ready for this one, Odem. I'm pretty pumped up to see what these drivers can do.
Yeah, I can't say I'm pumped up because I know what's going to happen. We're going to have a lot of safety cars, a lot of penalties. It's going to be one of those cagey races, but it'll be exciting for sure.
So the race start is under 30 seconds away. Of course, we do have a formation lap just to get those drivers feeling a little bit more nervous before the 5 lights actually go out. Hello to everyone who's watching. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at F1TS Hub and subscribe to our channel, of course. If you want to find out how to join the league, we do have a waiting list, and we've just got some drivers off the waiting list this week and into some seats. So it is looking pretty skinny at the moment. So if you do want to sign up, now is your chance. www.f1tshub.com. If you've seen, as the formation lap gets underway, Techno Thriller, of course, takes pole position. If you've seen on Twitter, we've just announced that we'll be doing a Black Friday deal for the F1 TS Hub shop, so keep an eye out for that. We've got a great offer coming next week to go down with the hashtag Black Friday.
Where I'm spectating, but I'm also racing. I was able to move my car, but I'm in the spectator mode.
Okay, so that's a little bit strange. As we said, Odems isn't actually racing. He accidentally didn't select spectate, but he'll be with me in the commentary box, and he'll retire immediately from the session, so it has no bearing on the results. But yeah, we've got 15 drivers today in the podium tier, which is pretty good. We've got a couple of new guys, as we mentioned, Josh and Greenfin. So if you're seeing anyone get disqualified from this session, it is only the formation lap. They'll be back able to race with us. But Odems, good chance for Kian and Techno Thriller here to score well, as Lemaine, the championship leader, isn't racing. We've also got a couple of other guys who are missing, but I'm looking forward to this one. You mentioned a lot of safety cars, a lot of penalties, but this is definitely going to be exciting to try and work out who's going to be where and what the safety car will do for strategy and position changes. I'm pretty pumped. This is my first time commentating on Monaco, and I literally can't wait.
Yeah, I too cannot wait. It's going to be a hectic race, that's for sure.
So we'll wait for all the drivers to line up on the grid, and we've got the loading message waiting for players. Odems, are you out the session now? Because I don't see your car.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back in.
Okay, so 5 lights are on, it appears, and it looks like a slow getaway, but no, everyone gets away. Techno Thriller gets a good start. Jamie in the Toro Rosso doesn't get a good start. It looks like Craig's going to challenge him into turn 1. He does. Looks like Kev's also got a decent start. He's up a position. Emphatix is up 3. So we haven't seen too many position changes. And touch wood, Odems, I haven't actually seen any incidents. I don't see any carbon fiber, any yellow flags. These drivers have all, probably for the first league race ever, made it through turn 1 without any incidents, as we see I see a little bit of carbon fiber. I think that was a Ferrari or a bit of Force India, but they're all coming around this hairpin. They see a Ferrari, they're going so slowly, and the Ferrari's in the wall, so he's binned it. Who is that? That is Matt Your Daddy. So Matt Your Daddy couldn't quite get turned. He's backed up and running, got a little bit of front wing damage on both sides, so he couldn't get turned in to that. But yeah, it's been a poor start for the Ferraris actually. 15th and 16th now, so they've obviously both had an incident. Will they have to come into pit? We'll have to wait until towards the end of the lap. But Techno Thriller and Kian stay as they are. They're going to be racing pretty closely throughout this session, and I'd hate to see, as Josh already gets a 3-second time penalty and we're only on the first lap, I'd hate to see these guys have an incident and deny us on what looks to be a race-long battle.
Yeah, Techno, Triller, and Kian are due a proper scrap for position. So Monaco's not really the place to get it, but I think we'll come at least close because they're both very close to each other in terms of pace around this track. Very good to see that no collisions happened on the first lap though. I'm very impressed.
So we just saw Josh hit the wall on the exit of turn 1, so he's missing a front wing.
He's in the lead. He's in the lead.
We missed that. Kian's taken the lead. Was it into the hairpin, Odems?
I think it was before the hairpin. It might have been Mirabeau. That's amazing.
Seeing a little bit of lag there, but yeah, Kian's taken the lead from Techno Thriller. But as I mentioned, Josh is falling down the field. He had contact with the wall at turn 1, so he's got no front wing. And we're seeing a few cars now slide into the barriers and get a little bit too close for comfort. Ignore that Mercedes of Odems. He is actually commentating. He accidentally selected a car, but yeah, the two at the front change position still within half a second. Craig's currently in third, Jamie's in fourth, being chased by Kev, who really needs a good result today, Odems.
He does. His confidence will be shot. He's obviously his first league ever, and his first few races. He's been unfortunate and a bit reckless in his driving, but he's going to need a good result soon, and this is a good place to get it if you keep it out of the barriers.
So DRS is enabled. Someone else got a penalty there. I didn't quite catch it. But Green Finn hit on his debut race is in 6th position. Josh, as we mentioned, and Lukey and Jonas are all into the pits, so they're dropping down the order. Currently in 13th, 14th, and 15th. Matt, your daddy, is currently in 16th. Empatic, we have mentioned, started on the soft tyre as Jonas now switches to the soft as well. So they'll be looking to do something a little bit different and go long in this first stint. Perhaps relying on a safety car to help their strategy. As we head back to the front, Kian still leads Techno Thriller. I would have loved to have seen where that move was done.
Yeah, me too. I just saw at the corner of my eye the position change. Techno's been a bit dangerous there, but Techno's been following Kian so closely for the past 2 laps. Obviously he's not anymore because that had been a mistake. But they seem very evenly paced in terms of speed.
Yeah, we're looking at a few close battles. As you'd expect in Monaco, everyone's able to stay pretty close. The guy who's in front is Kian at the moment. He leads by 1.5 seconds, so Techno Thriller did have a bit of a scruffy lap. Jamie looks to be under pressure, as also does Green Finn. No, he seems to have got a little bit of a gap, but the Boogster Force India is in 8th position. So a 5-second stop and go penalty for Josh. He's cut the corner, so he's currently in last place, and he needs to be careful because he's had a few incidents already, and this isn't looking like it's going to be a very good debut race. It looks like he cut that corner there to me as well. He needs to, as he almost hits the Ferrari, he definitely needs to be careful, as he's, is he retiring from the race? No, he's reversing it. He's obviously going to try and get back to the pits, but Odems, he needs to be really careful here because he's causing a few incidents.
Yeah, I don't think he's had any incidents with anyone else, but it's not a very good start to his season. He said in the chat that he was 0.2 seconds off first place after the first sector and ended up 2 seconds. So there might be pace there, but it's just in terms of putting that all together out on track. As Kian is now opening this gap to 2.1 seconds.
Yellow flags is sector 2. Kev did touch Jamie in the last sector on that last lap. A tiny bit of carbon fiber flying off of his car, so perhaps he's got a little bit of front end plate damage. But shout out to everyone watching. Josh is commentating on the stream, so I hope he's not doing that whilst driving, as he's back out onto track, and he's proving to be a little bit of a hazard, as Matt Your Daddy gets a time penalty for multiple warnings. But sector 3, yellow flag. So Lukey's retired. He's been our first driver to crash out of this session. It's after the swimming pool section, the fast left right-hander, and Odems, it looks like he's just carried a bit too much speed, and yeah, he's binned it. The former champion, of course.
Yeah, he has. Lukey, he's binned it in. I think he binned it last week in Spain and in Australia. So obviously he likes to race on the edge, but I think he's pushed the limit. How is that not a safety car? That is a precarious position to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous that that isn't a safety car as Josh cuts the corner again. Notice there, Techno Thriller got a 3-second time penalty, so he's going to be, as does Emphatic. So these drivers are struggling a little bit with the track limits here today. But
getting lapped.
So yeah, so Kian obviously took the lead on the second lap, I believe. DRS is enabled, but Odems, it doesn't really do a lot here, does it? If you want to make a pass, it needs to be that you've got the momentum and the driver in front makes a little bit of a mistake.
Sorry to cut you off, but Craig half spun there, and he hit his front wing off of the wall. He's lost a bit of end plate. That's going to give Jamie all the incentive he needs to chase him down again. But yeah, back to DRS. It's very, very hard to overtake. DRS really didn't do anything to help that claim. Ideally, you would want DRS to do it, so since that's the longest straight, but you can't have it to a very dangerous. The main straight it is.
Matt, your daddy spun.
Yep, he has. There he is in the wall. The Ferraris have had a terrible start to this race.
Luckily he's trying to get back going again, but spins it again. He doesn't actually look to have any damage on his front wing, so he's just spun that being a lap down. But Josh is now going to be...
What happened there was, I imagine he hit his rear left wheel off of the inside barrier coming to the new chicane, which doesn't really damage the car, but it's easy.
And he's out. He's retired the same place that his teammate did, so he is now, just before the swimming pool section, he is out of the race. So it's been a bad qualifying and now a bad race for Ferrari. They won't be scoring any points today. And yeah, he's missing a left wheel. So obviously ODMC had dirty tyres, tried to carry a bit too much speed, similar to his teammate perhaps. And he's now left the session and he's out of this race. But no sign of a safety car as Josh gets another time penalty for multiple warnings. Kian leads this race by 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, the closest on-track battle we have is Alls behind Emphatix. Alls, he didn't have the best qualifying neither than Emphatix. Well, Emphatix had a terrible qualifying, but he had a fantastic start to this race on a soft tyre, and he's up like 4 or 5 positions. So well done to him, as Alls is chasing him down. If you want to overtake, you're going to have to be aggressive and maybe a bit reckless. So I don't imagine him pulling anything a bit too hasty. He doesn't like the kind of driver to do that.
Yeah, so I'm sure Alls will bide his time. Of course, it is a 39 lap race. We're only lap 8 out of 39. We haven't had the first round of pit stops. Obviously, there's a few drivers at the back of the field who have had to make a pit stop. But yeah, Odems, this is going to be an interesting battle. As the Haas half spins it coming out the penultimate corner, and now he's got Gazaman who's all over him, who's had a bit of a quiet race so far, currently running in 11th place. But Kev is now all over the back of Jamie, as is Greenfin, as is Razor. So they've got a trio battle, a 3-way triple threat match about to go down there. It'll be interesting to see who comes out on top, and hopefully Kev can keep it clean and make sure he's in with a good chance for a result here.
Yeah, Jamie is right now having to keep 3 wheel users behind him, so that's very impressive in its own right. I remember coming into the New Chicane, Season 8, I tried a very audacious move down the inside of Razor, and I made it stick, albeit very aggressively. I'm not sure if he remembers that.
Josh has retired from the session, so...
I think that was coming, to be honest. He's not had the best times out there in Monaco.
Yes, I definitely think he needs maybe a little bit more practice, but yeah, the front left of his wing is gone. I think that was a voluntarily... retirement, yeah. But he should have done that in the pit lane, as the stewards did say in their pre-race stewards report. So perhaps he'll be investigated for not retiring voluntarily at the correct place. But we've got 12 drivers left in this session from 15, so both Ferraris and the Red Bull of Josh out of this race. But Greenfin currently in 7th place. We've spoken about his teammate Ols. He's doing a pretty solid job, 1.2 seconds off the Razart. Yeah, Kian leading this race 3.6 seconds. He's really turning into a championship contender now, isn't he?
He really is. He's matured from the person we saw in Russia, who was quick but vulnerable to making mistakes. Well, while the race isn't over, he still has all the time in the world to make a mistake. He's driving splendidly, and he's keeping Techno Thriller, who's no slouch himself, at bay by 3.8 seconds. and they're both just completely storming away from the frame.
Yeah, Craig perhaps, yeah, struggling with that front wing damage as we get a nice view of the harbour there. We get to see the rich and the famous watching this Grand Prix from their boats. I, of course, yeah, Jamie is struggling. I'm running on board with this right now, but is he struggling, or is he perhaps happy with fourths and just controlling this pace? I know in season 6, and in season 4, I was in second place.
Down the inside,
yeah, wow.
Down the inside of Kev, what a move.
That was fantastic.
I was on board with Kev there, just seeing the car Honda going down the inside. That was great. So from Razor.
We caught that in the background, but that's exactly the type of opportunistic move you need to do as Josh leaves the session. As I was saying, Odems, in season 4 and in season 6, I was in second place at Monaco both times. Season 4, I was hit into the skate road where Rosberg famously locked up to deny Hamilton of pole, and I had to reverse and went way down the field. And in the season 6, I was behind my teammate Jono, and I got hit the hairpin by Heskey straight into the wall and lost my front wing. So these drivers are going to get frustrated if they're being held up by someone else for a number of laps, but Razor, what a move. He's showing his experience there.
He is, and showing his pace, because now he's right on the back of Jamie. I noticed that I think Kev might have been a bit slower than Jamie, but just more consistent, and Jamie was just making too many mistakes. I think Razor might just be a mix of both, and now he's right on the back. And Razor also has front wing damage, so that's even more impressive.
Yeah, missing a little bit of the front right end plate there as he's looking at Jamie now into turn 1. He's definitely late on the brakes. He does touch the wall and looks, yeah, a little bit more front wing. So it's so easy to get sucked into the braking zone at turn 1, Odems. It's an incredibly difficult corner to nail for 39 laps in a row. 38, of course, if you make a one-stop race. But when can we expect these drivers to be coming into the pits, those who are on the ultra soft tyre?
I expect ultra soft runners to be coming in around lap 15 if they're not planning to undercut anyone, as always gets really close to the back of the Bookster now, who's been overtaken by his teammate Epitix. So that's something we've dealt with before. But yeah, around 13 to 15 is when you would expect him to come to the pits. Spencer is now 6 seconds behind Kian. I was going to make the point that if he was close enough, he might just be able to hit earlier than Kian and get the undercut, but that's out of the question now because he's a bit too far behind.
Just to mention, Odems, that Jonas is the only driver to have stopped to his left running. He's made 2 pit stops, so perhaps he's had a couple of front wing changes, and those boys in his crew have been busy at his pit stops, but he's going to be reliant on a safety car now as he's 35 seconds off 11th place Gazaman, currently running in last place. Yeah, riding on board, he's always going to try something here. He's incredibly close to the Haas, but no, can't do anything into turn 1. Odems, where can you overtake here?
Well, if you're completely ballsy, you could go down the inside through here. I forget the name of the. Oh, as he locks up and he hits the back of the Bookster and loses a bit of his front wing. So you could try overtake through there. Mirabel's also another very opportunistic move as the hairpin. I wouldn't recommend doing it, but you can. But mainly the place to overtake is the first corner.
Here goes Razor down the inside of Jamie. He touches the wall and he does the same thing that I think Matt, your daddy, did. That was opportunistic to say the least, and he was almost there. I think Jamie would have given him route had he carried a bit more speed, and I would say the majority of his car was alongside, and perhaps he had right to the corner, but he tried to be a little bit too kind, and it's cost him there. He's back down to 6th position, and Techno Thriller pits from 2nd place onto the super soft tyre.
Epitix has lost his front wing, and he's let everyone pass, so Gazaman, Alds, and Books have all got past, and it's all kicking off here, as Razor still has a decent gap. Techno Thriller pits. They just had a decent gap to the people behind him. But yeah, that's a really unfortunate mistake to make.
And key for Techno Thriller there, he's come out just in front of Razor and he's got a 3.5 second gap. So he's looking to go for the undercut on Kian. He is in standard mix, so he's not pushing too much on this outlap. But Kian's just going to take a little bit of time here and decide what he wants to do. He'll be hoping that Techno Thriller comes out in traffic, but of course he hasn't, as we get an overhead view we get to see some people enjoying the apartments there at Monaco. Yeah, Kian pit, so he's reacted to that. Is this going to be a quick stop? He doesn't look to have any front wing damage, so he's going to be in for these super soft tires, and then he's going to be straight back out. We'll ride on board with Techno Thriller as he's still in the last sector. This is definitely going to be not too much of a struggle.
The fact he's having such a good start to the race, and now he's in the wall again.
Yeah, lost a lot of front wing there. He's going to struggle through the last sector, some of the high-speed corners, and Jonas touched the wall there, but I think that was just lag because his front wing looks okay. His front wing as well, we know he has damage as Techno Thriller is pushing. He gets a 3-second sign penalty, so Kian hasn't popped up with one yet, so it's going to put him in even better position as we've got yellow flags.
Justin is right behind Green Finn, and he's all over the back of it, but obviously there's nowhere to overtake, so he's only going to find himself even more time.
Craig's come out in second place behind, Kian's come out in second place behind Craig. So on the super soft tyre, of course, Razor's still in the pits. I do forget how long a pit lane is here, because obviously you have to go at such a slow speed.
Down the inside, inside of the tunnel, Techno goes past Green Finn and doesn't put much of a fight. So that's a decent overtake from him. As yeah, sorry to cut you off there.
That's alright, no worries. I'm happy for you to do most of the talking tonight. As I mentioned earlier, I'm feeling a little bit worse for wear, a little bit of man flu for myself, but I'm a bit bunged up, so I apologise if I'm not as clear as I usually am. But yeah, Craig comes into the pits now from the lead, so it's back to Kian. Jamie's still on those ultra soft tyres, so perhaps he's going to be the last of the front runners. Odens, we haven't seen a safety car yet.
No, we haven't. We should have. We haven't. That's not really a testament to drivers skipping out of the barriers, but yeah, I think one is imminent at least. And once you get a safety car in this game, you usually get a few more.
So Techno Thriller is now
on the back of the
yeah, spot on. That's exactly what I'm on board with. So he'll be looking to dispatch of the Toro Rosso driver. Kian's got a nice healthy lead now, over 10 seconds on second place. So that hasn't worked out for Techno Thriller, but it was a bit of a risky one to try the undercut with a track that's so hard to overtake. But it's been a pretty exciting Monaco Grand Prix so far. Kev's down in 8th. He's just behind Gazaman. Perhaps we'll follow this battle closely and see if something can get done.
Techno Thriller hit the back of Kian, not Jamie, sorry, who was going so slow into the back. Yeah, that's more of his front wing gone. See on the inside, no, he doesn't. Jamie's doing a massive bust for Techno Thriller, and Jamie pits. Oh, I think, yep, Techno Thriller spun Jamie as Jamie was coming to the pit, and Jamie's reversed. I'm not sure if he'll get away with that. Yeah, okay, so Techno Thriller spun Jamie as Jamie was coming to the pit, and the game also corrected Jamie back onto the track in front of the pit lane. Jamie has to reverse, and Greenfin is now overtaking it, so that's terrible for Jamie. I think you mentioned in the Stewards report that it was watch out for cars coming into the pit lane. Obviously Techno Thriller was in the mindset of wanting to get past, and he didn't really pay attention to that. And yeah, that's really unfortunate for Jamie.
Yeah, that's cost him a bit of time there. Just witnessed Kev go down the inside of Gaza, who is yet to stop. So he pulled a late braking move into turn 1, so well done to him for providing us with a little bit of action. Jamie comes out in 7th position, just ahead of Razor, who is closing within a second of the driver. Jonas is now all on the back of Ols, so he's caught back up after making 2 pit stops so far this race. Doesn't look like he's got any wing damage, so for once though, he isn't, as I say that, he touches the wall. For once he isn't side by side with his teammate.
Yeah, there's a bit of a leeway between them. Obviously that could change at any moment given the nature of this track, but Razor will be happy to get some distance between Jonas. He'll also be happy to overtake Jamie because those two are going to tangle again now.
Techno Thriller's in the pits, Odem, so what's happened there? Has he had another incident? Yeah, he's changing his front wing.
Yeah, he lost his front wing on the back, hitting the back of Jamie the lap prior. I'm not sure if that's, I don't think that's why he's hitting. I think he's just, I truly don't know.
Gaza pits also. So he was the last of the drivers who have yet to stop. So yellow flags in sector 2. Techno Thriller is going to come out in 4th place, just ahead of Kev as we see exit turn 1. Sorry, Green Finn as we see exit turn 1. Where is Gaza? So he's still coming out the pits, currently in 9th position. So Jamie lost out to Green Finn there. Perhaps a little bit of undercut and a little bit of that incident with Techno Thriller. But Kian...
they pit at the same time.
Okay. Okay, so Kian 25-second lead now, Odems. He just needs to keep it at the barrier, and this is going to be his second win in a row.
Yeah, I've noticed that when you're so far out in front, it just becomes a game between yourself of you can set a quick lap time or not, and that can become very dangerous in a track like Monaco. Obviously, we've seen Ayrton Senna do that. He put it into the barrier, leading by miles. So I don't think he's safe yet. Even though all he has to do is keep it out of the barrier, he still has every opportunity, like everyone else, to put it into the wall. So just keep his head down, try not to get any fastest laps, just chill.
Yeah, definitely.
Rush as well, but what happens?
So closest battle on the track is Ols on the back of Gaza, but we've also got Green Finn who's defending against Jamie and Razart. Is Razart going to think about slinging another move down the inside of turn 1 as he did so superbly earlier in the race? Emphatic gets another penalty, so not looking forward to working out who's got what penalties here today, Odins. We see a lot of drivers extending the track limits. Yeah, I agree. I think Razart's thinking about the inside at the end of sector 1. Again, I don't know the corner names as well as I usually do for this track. Mirabeau, thank you. But Kian, yeah, 25-second lead. Craig obviously doing a solid job in 2nd place, the sole Mercedes today. Kev up into 3rd, so Williams, it's a good day for them.
Yeah, especially since all their amateur rivals are falling by the wayside. Ferrari is completely non-existent. Red Bull with Gazaman are in 7th, who's in 9th, sorry, as Josh is retired. So yeah, it's a very good day for Williams. Razor's so close to the back of the game, so close.
Yeah, he is indeed. So he's going to get DRS. We'll ride on board with Razor. He doesn't get the best exit there. He overshoots the last corner slightly, so he'll have to wait another lap before he can try something. But yeah, Kian is in 1st position. Craig is in 2nd. Kev is in 3rd. Techno Thriller, after getting pole position at the last minute, is in 4th. Greenfin is in 5th on his debut. Jamie is in 6th. Razor is in 7th. 8th is the Bugster. 9th is Gaza. 10th is Ols. 11th is Jonas. Emphatic is in 12th. And that is all our runners. Josh, Matt and Lukey have retired from this race so far, as we see some yellow flags in sector 2. Razor is getting very late on those brakes as we see them passing your spawned car. So what's happened here is Gaza made a mistake as Ols has got past. So Ols has got the job done on Gaza, which was our other closest battle.
Razor was thinking about going down the inside again, but Jamie kind of blocked him off. It was going very slow.
I'm really sorry to report this, Onens, but Kev has lost his front wing. So that is what those yellow flags are for. Techno Thriller's gone through. He's Kev's now in 4th place as Green Finn is catching up very rapidly. He's going to have to pit, get some new tyres, which will obviously take him to the end of the race. So yeah, that would have been a massive result for him, but it's not going to be happening today. He'll drop down the field, but he'll be on fresher tyres, so if he keeps it at the barrier, perhaps he can still score some decent points.
He's back down in 8th, that's so unfortunate. If he wants to get back into 3rd, he's going to have to overtake everyone again, which is going to be very difficult. Obviously, Kev was one of our drivers in the press conference this week. He was mentioned about how he was unable to finish races due to spinning out, and that's not going to help his confidence at all, is it, losing his front wing at Monaco? 3rd place.
Yeah, but saying that, if you're going to lose your front wing, Odems, I think this is a reasonable place to do it. We missed Razor making another overtake on Jamie there, so perhaps he did it. Yeah, perhaps he did it at the end of that lap or the start of this lap.
Also, Gazman slung it down the inside of Ols. So who says overtaking is impossible at Monaco?
Yeah, so these two have swapped positions now as Jamie gets a penalty. Ols did get through Gaza, now Gaza's got back through on Ols. So it's fantastic to see some clean and competitive racing here at Monaco. These Podium boys putting on a good show for us No safety cars yet,
Razor's
though.
on the inside again. Razor's taken fourth. Amazing. He lost his front wing in before the fact, but he went down the inside into Razcast on green Finn, and now he's in fourth place. This is fantastic from Razor.
Yeah, solid job from him. As you say, he's late on these brakes today, and it isn't something you often see from Razor, slinging it down at the last minute. But he's obviously got a bit between his teeth today, and I just missed that. I just caught the end of it, Onems, as I was riding on board with Ols, who comes into the pits. Kev is in 10th place, and he's right on the back of Jonas now. So this is going to be interesting.
Yeah. One thing to note. Technical Fitter is catching Craig at a pretty quick rate, so I think he might be towards the end of him, at the back of him, sorry, at the end of the race. And Kian now's a 30-second gap, so yeah, all pits.
Oh, Kevs goes down the inside of Maribou, and he gets the job done on Jonas. That was a fantastic move. Jonas very kind, they gave him space, but you'd expect nothing less from Jonas, who's been a great addition to this league this season. But Kev, wow, he did that move, he made it successful, and he's up into 9th place, and he can go about chasing Gazzaman now, and trying to make a recovery from this.
I am so impressed by these Podium drivers, I have to say. They are pulling off some fantastic overtakes that I don't even think the Pinnacle boys, myself included, are even going to attempt, let alone execute properly. So this thumbs up to everyone involved, especially for the people getting overtaken for giving space. Great racing.
Yeah, I think you have to, Hero Dems. You need to be very aware of the cars around you. As for the first time this race, we don't have a driver within a second of another driver. So Kian leads this race. As we mentioned previously, he took the lead from Techno Thriller on lap 2, and he hasn't looked back. Craig's doing a solid job in second, but being caught by Techno Thriller, as you mentioned, at a rapid pace. I'm pretty buzzing for this, Odems. Lap 23 out of 39. We've still got a way to go here.
We do. He looks like he's projected to catch up to the back of him towards the end of this race. In fact, he's out of the race. Yeah, he is. Fortunately, in fact, he's out of the race. He started off so well, but now he's out of the race. But yeah, Techno Thriller 7.9 seconds behind. It's gonna be interesting to watch him chase him down. As I think the field has stagnated a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely has. We haven't got a driver, as I mentioned, within a second of another. But it's interesting to see these guys battle it out so closely. I don't remember having such a good Monaco Grand Prix in terms of battling for overtakes. Usually have a bit of a train, but the first lap as well, Odems. The first corner we didn't see anything. No one really. Yeah. It was really clean, and credit should go out to these guys for doing such a good start and being so spatially aware of other cars around them. And perhaps just looking at the bigger picture, it is lap 1. This is a Monaco Grand Prix. Anything can happen at any time.
As it has done. Techno Thriller was leading. He was on pole. Now he's in third. Chasing second. Razor, I'm not sure where he started, but he's pulled off some amazing overtakes. So as you said, anything can and usually will happen. As Gazzaman, he understood into the hairpin and found himself in a wall, and Kev just plowed into the back of him because he had nowhere to go, and Gazzaman kindly let Kev pass. Kev now has front wing damage. He was on a charge. Very unfortunate for him. Just smoking a little bit, but I think he still has enough pace to capture through the bookstore for the end of this race.
Yeah, I did catch that, Odems. That was unfortunate for Kev. He just came around the corner, and Gazza obviously, made a mistake, which is very easy to do at that hairpin if you just get the turn in a little bit wrong, especially when your tyres aren't as fresh as they were at the beginning of the stint. But kind of Gazza obviously realising what happened, to let Kev through. Of course, Gazza a tier coordinator for us. He didn't have to, because that was a genuine mistake. But well done to Gazza for doing that. He understood exactly what happened, and of course a premium member, Odems, so he's a great addition to this league. But speaking of premium members, Kian, who recently became a Season 10 premium member, is leading this race by 32 seconds. It's been a fantastic
convince all the other drivers that because of his premium membership, he's gained this extra pace per lap.
Yeah, perhaps if he wins today, it'll be a 100% winning record since he became a premium member. So there you go, guys. You heard it from us first. Support your favorite league, and you'll win a race. No, but yeah, all the drivers in this tier get on so well. Odems, as we see a little bit of front wing there. I'm not sure who was from. They do get on very well in the chat. There's never any nastiness before or after a race. I know you asked, or the media, I should say, asked, and one of their questions this week about how they get on in their tier, and everyone seems to be enjoying the league this season, as am I. And this has been a fantastic race so far. Craig in second place in the Mercedes is the sole Mercedes today. As you mentioned, Lemaine and championship leader is on holiday.
Yeah, and Technosphere is no longer catching Craig, so either he's had an incident or he's just dropped off the pace. He doesn't have any front wing damage, so that's odd. But he's no longer catching the Mercedes driver, so Craig has a bit of respite, and he can take it a bit easier. As Jonas pits, okay.
He was serving a penalty at him, so they didn't work on the car for presumably 5 seconds, so he's come in to serve his penalty, and he's come out the last of the runners. Emphatic, of course, has left the session. Can't talk today, but hello to everyone watching. We are on lap 26 out of 39, 13 to go. Unlucky for some, but we haven't had a safety car. We haven't had two drivers who have had an incident whereby one of them takes each other out. We've had some great racing here today, Odems, and the Pinnacle boys at 9 PM are going to have a little bit of something to pin this against, because they're meant to be the big boys that put on the biggest show for us. But yeah, the Podium guys tonight are really putting on a good show for myself and hopefully everyone watching. Yeah,
speaking of everyone watching, we have we had 20 people at one point watching, so that's the most we've had all season. We have 17 now. So shout out to everyone here. I'm sure they're enjoying a great race with some great driving. As right now, Kev is still the one to watch. He's catching the books there by a vast rate of knots. But yeah, as the field has stagnated a little bit, Jamie and Greenfin are both very equal in pace, and Razard is not quicker than those two.
All's pits.
Very impressed by him today. All's pits again, that's really odd.
So Jonas, who pitted last lap, sorry, actually had a bit of a spin on the previous lap down at the bumpy braking zone after the tunnel, and then he went right under the Mercedes, which isn't participating in this race, which you accidentally selected. So he literally went under your car and lifted you up in the air. So Jonas, wow. Congratulations for providing us with for breaking the game. But yeah, if we run through who's made what stops and who's on what tyre, we can see that the top 8 are all on the super softs. We can see that 10, 11 and 12 are on the ultra softs. But who's made the most stops? Let's have a quick look.
Jonas and Oz have both made 3 pit stops, and that's no coincidence as to why they're at the back of the field.
Yeah, definitely. So a pit stop costing you a lot of time here, because obviously the speed that you run through the pit lane is the lowest on the calendar. But I'm sure these guys are going to want to be hoping for a safety car, which I still can't believe we haven't seen, by the way, Odems. You predicted quite a few, but you couldn't have got that more wrong.
Yeah, I've left with egg in my face. There's no safety cars. There should have been, to be fair, but there has been none. There's still time, obviously, 2 laps left. Drivers pushing to get that extra bit out of their car. Razor still... just by the way, Technosphere is 4 seconds behind Craig. So Craig must have made a mistake somewhere, because Technosphere is right on the back of him, so we have to watch that gap.
Sorry, I'm just having a little cough there. But yeah, so I would most likely presume that Craig made a little bit of a mistake. So Techno Thriller is in podium position, which would be good for his championship. But Razor, a solid 4th position for him. Kev doesn't seem to be catching the bookster too much at the moment. I know you mentioned earlier that he was rapidly closing, but Jamie on Green Fin seems to be the closest battle on track right now. 1.1 seconds between the two of them. As I said, that goes out to 1.7 as Jamie struggles a little bit with the hairpin. But talk a little bit about the Haas driver Green Fin, who's outshone his teammate today. Oles, who's participated in the majority of races this season. But yeah, Gridfin, fantastic debut for him. Seems like a really solid guy as well from what I've spoke to him. He's getting on really well here today.
Yeah, he and the Bookster have a connection, both being very Scandinavian. As I think that's Jonas overtaking the lap car of my Ghost, about to be lapped by Craig in the lap section there. Jamie's catching green fin, so that's something we have to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, definitely. It is under 2 seconds. It was 1.1, but perhaps Jamie made a little bit of mistake at the hairpin. But yeah, got a couple of viewers who were giving a little bit of a cheer to Green Finn. So perhaps he's brought a fan club with him as well. Shout out to you guys. He's doing a fantastic job. So he's definitely going to be up for Driver of the Day nomination, which of course you can. Jonas has left the session.
Oh, Craig, yeah. Jonas had, I think, a lag moment there, and Craig battled into the back of him, lost a bit of his front wing, launched into the air, and Technotrader is right behind him now. Wow, I was looking at the championship table because something interesting is happening there if it stays the same. But, yeah, that was crazy.
So that is 10th place lapped by the leaders, who are doing a brilliant job so far. Techno Thriller now within a second of Craig. What can the former championship leader do? He needs this. Kian, of course, is in first position, who got beaten to pole by this man that we're riding on board with. But not being the best races, but Craig looks like he's struggling a little bit with that front wing damage. It'll be interesting to see whether Techno Thriller can make something of this and salvage second place from doing two pit stops.
As it stands, if it stays the way it is, Kian and Techno Thriller will be separated by 1 point. I think Techno Thriller will take the lead in the championship.
So fantastic stuff. As we mentioned, our current championship leader, Lemaine, is on holiday, so we hope he's enjoying his time as Jamie moves up a position, as does Green Finn. So Razart has lost half of his front wing after all his brilliant overtaking. He's dropped down to 6th position. He's going to have to make another stop, and that'll drop him, I believe, to 9th position behind Gaza. Disappointing for him. He was having such a good race. And again would have been up for a Driver of the Day nomination. As I was saying earlier, you can vote on Twitter for that after the race. Yeah, sorry to him for that incident. But you've got to keep your concentration.
He's definitely the one impressing us the most with his overtakes. But unfortunately, he's falling short as MP6 goes. Oh, he's lost a bit more of his front wing, so he's definitely going to make a hit. Yeah, that's going to elevate Kev up to 7th place, and Kev is now finally catching the Bookster again. That's 1.6 seconds. But on board with Techno Thriller, who's right behind Craig. Oh, he's so close to him, pushing him around the hairpin.
Yeah, he had a look down there into Maribor, but he thought better of it. There perhaps was room there, and I had a feeling that Craig kind of suspected him to sling one down the inside, but Techno Thriller thought better of it. We've got 7 laps yet. You don't need to try anything. If he could just stay close, he can wait for an opportunity, and then if there isn't one that presents itself, obviously there's a last lap dive bomb, which Odems you so famously like to do. But yeah, we've got 4 or 5 people who are cheering on Green Finn up to 4th. You guys are providing some fantastic support for him because he is having such a good debut. He is a bit off 3rd position, off podium place, but if these two have an incident, 2nd and 3rd, he'll be there to benefit. He does have Jamie for company, of course, under a 2nd as well now. In fact, 3 temps.
Wow.
But let's hope Green Finn can continue his good race so far and keep the Toro Rosso behind.
He has a lot of front wing damage. He might hit this lap.
Yeah, he does indeed. Good spot there, Odem. So perhaps he's had a little bit of a mistake. Is he going to come? He does come in. So
no.
yeah, we spoke too soon. Bit of commentator's curse there, but it is Monaco, so these mistakes do happen. But a bit disappointing there, and we're sorry if our commentating curse affected him. But hopefully he can get back in and out and have a late storm. I think he's going to come out in 8th position ahead of Razart. If not, he'll be of course in 9th ahead of his teammate. But Techno Thriller challenging for 2nd position. Kev is up to 6th position and on the back of the
Very
Bookster.
interesting development we have here. Two drivers who definitely could score points are now fighting for 5th place. Kev obviously has the pace with the fresher tires because he made an extra pit stop. But track position is everything here, and that's what the Bookster currently has. Oof, Kev makes touches the wall a little bit there, he's lost a bit of time. But yeah, very interesting end to this race. We're going to have a few battles. Everything converging on each other.
Yeah, definitely Greenfin comes out behind Razor, so those two are going to be chasing down Gaza. Perhaps 7th is the best they can hope for. They aren't too far away on fresh tires. They should catch him. Greenfin opting for the supers and Razor opting for the ultras, but it just shows you we're in the final few laps of this race. 5.5 to go, and just that little lack of concentration on him, and it can cost you massively. But what's your money on here? Is Techno Thriller going to be able to take this 2nd place? He's dropped out of the DRS zone now.
Yeah, he decided to screw up your middle sector there. Well, front of the middle sector. I don't think he's gonna take that pace off Craig. It's really hard to overtake, as we said, and it's such a. I think he should be happy with 3rd. I think he's gonna retain the lead take the lead of the driver championship. So I think 3rd he'll be okay with. As he lost a bit of a strong wing, I think now.
Here comes Razor on Gaza. He sets the fastest lap of the race as he's now right on him. 2 tenths behind. Where's he going to make this move? I don't think Gaza will fight him too much, but completely different strategies. Of course, what's Razor going to do? Looking inside out, so he goes down the inside. Gaza gives him plenty of room, and job done. Another fantastic overtake from Razor. Absolute credit to what he's been able to do today and the cars he's been able to pass. Kev, meanwhile, still within a second of 5th place of Bookster. I'm sure he'd love to take that 5th position.
He would. Especially at a track like Monaco, where it's so hard to finish the race. He's going to be very happy to score his points at here, as all his Ghost now pits as well. So, who knows, maybe Jonas's Ghost might steal him a point. Sorry, Ols pits, not his Ghost, so who knows.
So Ols is in the pits, currently in 10th position. Greenfin now just over a second as Kev passes Emphatic, who of course is a lap down and ghosting. Emphatic left the session, so Jonas does move ahead of Ols. I believe they've both made now 4 stops. So Techno Thriller now up to 2-second gap behind Craig. Our closest battle is Kev, who's now just fallen above a second. So perhaps the drivers that were pushing seem to be losing a little bit of pace in these final few laps. We've hardly mentioned Kian as Techno Thriller pits. So Techno Thriller has come into the pits. I'm not exactly sure why. It looks like he's got a bit of end plate damage.
That's another gap. I think he's just... Maybe he's going for the fastest lap. He has enough of a gap to Jamie. That's very odd for him to pit a 3rd time.
So he obviously decides that 3rd place is the best he's going to be able to achieve today. Jamie is coming around the penultimate corner now. I reckon, as you said, Techno Thriller does have a big enough gap. So Techno Thriller exits the pit lane, and Jamie comes down the start-finish straight. But the Bookster is still in 5th. Kev is just behind. Is he going to think about a late dive bomb here? We're getting close to the end of this race. It's been absolutely a thrilling race so far, with no safety car, no virtual safety car, 3 retirements, both Ferraris out of this race. Razor sets the fastest lap again. Greenfin, what can he do? He is 1.1 behind Gaza. He's going to want that place on the fresh tyres after running as high as 4th. But yeah, Odems, Kev, can he get this job done?
He can. He's proved that he can overtake around here. I think the Bookster will be a lot less willing to give space than the cars Kev has overtaken. But yeah, I think Kev has it in him to make the overtake. As you said, we haven't mentioned Kian much. He's 45 seconds ahead of Craig. So he's doing what MLA did last week in Spain, and he's just dominating this race completely.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, question marks have been raised about whether he's in the correct tier, but it's only been the last couple of races where he's truly been able to show what pace he has in that Williams. But I do feel, though,
Kian and Techno Thriller are on the same straight. We're on the same straight, at least, for a point. He's close to it.
So that just shows you, I think Kian, he has got good pace around here, Odems, but I think he's just made no mistakes. He's one of the few drivers, perhaps not to lose a bit of his front wing and just keep it out the barriers, which round Monaco is worth more than outright pace, you have to say. But Kev, we are on lap 37 out of 39. Can you get this done? It'll be the first time two Williams finish in the top 5 this season. Of course, former Constructors Champions at F1 TS Hub with Jono and Ermi. Kev takes a funny line into the hairpin there. He does have wing damage, so perhaps that's why he's struggling now a little bit to get this job done. What can Green Finn do?
Well.
Okay, so they're both a little bit handicapped. What can Green Finn do? As I mentioned, he's under a second now behind Gaza. What's Gaza going to be able to do? Is he going to be able to fend him off? Green Finn, of course, was running up as high as 4th. He wants past. Under the tunnel they go. Can he do it into the braking zone? Thinks about it. No, decides not to. He's going to have so much more grip. But that doesn't always mean a lot around Monaco. As we get a great helicopter shot here of these two drivers. And you can see he's just got so much more turning and confidence in the car. And perhaps he needs to just line up through that final corner, use the DRS, use the max fuel. And as we mentioned, as he has a bit of a strange incident, he loses some front wing. So
very weird. Yeah.
It's like he locked up and just couldn't turn the car. That's going to halt his chances.
Me, it looks like he got hit from the back. Very weird. He just locked forward. Yeah.
Very strange indeed. But we are on lap 38 or 39, the penultimate lap. Kian almost leads by 50 seconds. So 20 more seconds, and he'd almost lapped the entire field. So, wow, what an amazing performance from him. Let's switch over to him and just show a little bit of him this race, because we haven't seen a lot of his Williams car. Here he is in the final sector of the penultimate lap. What can Kev do? He's back within a second of the Force India. Is he getting a little bit impatient here as Techno Thriller sets the fastest lap of the race? He made that late pit stop.
Hit the wall there, but he's fine.
So he does have wing damage, but as we mentioned, both cars have a handicapped front wing. By that I mean they've damaged it. But we're on the final lap, Odems. 39 out of 39. Kian leads this race. He's led all the way from lap 2, I believe, except when he made a pit stop and Cred legged briefly. But the Mercedes Gyro hasn't been able to keep up since then. We are riding on board with the closest battle, but I have to say I need to switch over to Kian. He's in the middle sector, coming under the tunnel. And I'll let you watch those two because I feel it's important. We ride on board with Kian as he crosses the line. Absolutely domination from him at Monaco. Almost Jono-like as he's going to win this Season 10 Monaco race. Round 6 of the championship in this podium tier. We race every night at 7 PM with these boys. And they put on a fantastic performance. But Kian, he hasn't had to do too much today. He comes out of the last corner, he gets close to his pit wall to say, hey guys, I've done it again, and he wins the Monaco Grand Prix. Craig, in second place, is at the hairpin. He's going to take the only points for Mercedes today, which is really important for their constructors' hope. And Techno Thriller is behind, who has caught up a lot on this last stint. So what will penalties do here? We're seeing a few position changes by some lap cars. We're seeing the Booksters up to 4th, Jamie's moved down to 5th, Razor's jumped up to 6th, Kev stays 7th, Ols takes 10th ahead of Jonas, Gaza takes 8th, so Greenfin takes 8th, so he moves ahead on penalties. Craig, of course, isn't lapped, which is why he hasn't finished the race yet himself. And Techno Thriller, speaking of Techno 3, take 2 seconds out of Craig this lap, but too little too late. Monaco's 75th Grand Prix, it says on the banner there. Craig takes 2nd, his first podium in the Pinnacle podium tier after moving down from the Pinnacle, so well done to him. Jonas crosses the line in 11th, and Techno Thriller finishes your podium positions. Odems, over to you.
Yeah, Bookster absolutely duped everyone there. We were thinking, can he keep 5th place, but he got his stolen 4th. Very well done from him. But yeah, what can we say? Kian, absolute domination. After Russia, we were thinking, oh, he's quick, but does he have anything else in his locker? But he showed that he can be consistent as well, because he's lapped almost all the field there.
So as we see the podium celebrations one of the few podiums that are track level. As I say that, apparently it's not track level on this game, but I'm sure it was in real life. But Williams celebrate their second win in a row. Kian celebrates his second win in a row. And let's quickly run through the order. So I'll run through the order, Odems.
To Bookster and Greenfin and Craig for not getting any penalties.
So yeah, Kian, first position. Wow, he finished such a margin ahead, and he lapped everyone up to 4th place. So wow, massive result for him. Kian first, Craig second, Techno Thriller third, the Bookster 4th, Jamie 5th, Razart 6th, Kev 7th, Greenfin 8 on his debut, Gaza 9th, Alls 10th, Jonas is 11th, and then we had the 2 Ferraris and the Red Bull of Josh on his debut retire. Look at penalties, as you mentioned, the Bookster, Craig, Razart and Greenfin all finishing the race with no penalties. Solid job from them. We're hearing that Bookster didn't have any contact with any barriers, no corner cuts, so that is why he finished in 4th position after a struggle qualifying session. But Odems, Driver of the Day nominations, who would you put up there?
I have to give it to Kian. I mean, he's finished 50 seconds ahead of Craig, who got no penalties. He drove fantastically himself. I have to give it to Kian. He's done so well. So impressed by him.
So there you have it. Kian gets Odems' Driver of the Day. Now, Odems, you'll be shortly driving around this track, Monaco, for the Pinnacle tier at 9 PM. So I'd like to thank everyone for joining us on tonight's stream. And apologies again if I sound a little bit on the norm. I am feeling a little bit ill, but I will be back at 9 PM, and I've got Jono, the former champion, alongside me. He filled in last week in the Podium tier, and now he wants a little bit more for the Pinnacle tier. So we'll be back at 9 PM, same place, same channel. Thank you everyone for watching. We hope you enjoyed, and see you soon.